But he did seem like an unlikely suspect also, mainly because he wasn't living in the community. Of course, it could have been a long-distance relationship. Those were common. She needed to know how often he came to the area, for starters. Was there a love triangle of another sort? And Duncan was the one feeling himself pushed out. Was that a possible motive? Or maybe it had something to do with the proposed development. If it was such a big secret, that might mean they were worried about the reaction from people in town. Or maybe even the reaction of the town council. There were all sorts of possibilities. But Shelby was the first to acknowledge that she knew little to nothing about real estate schemes and dreams. There must be someone she could ask. Aside from Duncan Kane, that is. She obviously wouldn't get much more information out of Felicity. Maybe Edie knew something more about Lorena's romantic possibilities. But Shelby figured her aunt would have already mentioned it, if that were the case. Who could she talk to? When in doubt, go for the chocolate. She needed a truffle to be able to cope, and maybe Erica could give her some suggestions. Shelby reached Chocomania right before closing, though despite the lateness of the hour, the chocolate lovers were still out in force. Shelby waved at Erica and sidled close to the large display case, noting with a sigh that there was an empty plate where the spicy dark chocolate truffles should have been. She concentrated on what other flavor called out to her, and still stood in place when the final 2 giggling teenagers left. Erica let out an exaggerated sigh of relief, then quickly said, "Don't worry. I put aside some of your favorite hotties just in case you stopped in." Shelby clapped her hands. "Yay for you. I so need a lift." Erica disappeared into the back room and returned almost immediately with a small box. "There are 4 in there. Didn't want you to overdose." Shelby pulled out her wallet, and when Erica waved it off, Shelby insisted, "I can't always be the freeloader around here. But instead, you can throw in some information, if you have it." Erica looked interested. She tucked a curl back in place that had escaped the scarf she twisted into a headband and then leaned her arms across the top of the glass display case. "About what?" "I just learned about the possibility that a new hotel and casino might be built in the area. What do you know about it?" "Only what I've heard at any of the council meetings I've attended or read online. You should plan on going to the next monthly meeting, you know. Our little community might grow on you." She said it smiling, although Shelby had a feeling there was a message included there. "It is growing on me, believe me. So, what about the hotel?" "There's a developer who's been leading the negotiations, and from what I hear, it's moving ahead smoothly. Of course, there's a lot of pushback from the owners of the present hotels in the area, and there are several residents who are also against bringing more tourists, read more traffic, into the area." "But it's still going ahead." "Well, according to Duncan Kane, it is. He's handling the deal on behalf of the current property owner, which means he's dealing with the town and its concerns and the developer." "Barry Pellin?" "I think that's his name. He lives in Buffalo or someplace not all that far away, but Duncan rented him a house in the village." "That's interesting. So he must be in town a lot, then." Erica shrugged. "I'm really not sure. Like I said, I only know what I read." "Why?" "Felicity Foxworth just told me that Lorena Swan was involved with him." "As in an affair?" Erica's eyes widened. "So it seems." "Lorena? I can't picture her like that. But that may be because I've known her, sort of, all my life. Just like I can't imagine my mom in a relationship." "What about my Aunt Edie?" Erica smiled.